Welcome to my channel HD Rare Coins 111, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The story of American coinage is filled with treasures that hold not just monetary value but also a piece of history that connects us to the past. Among these treasures stands the 1941 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny, a small copper coin that continues to attract collectors, historians, and investors alike. While it may appear to be just a humble penny to the untrained eye, it carries a legacy that is far greater than its face value. The year 1941 was a pivotal one for the United States. The world was deep in the turmoil of World War II, and America itself was just months away from entering the conflict after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Against this backdrop, millions of Lincoln wheat pennies were minted. Yet, even among these millions, certain pieces became unique, rare, and highly sought after, making the 1941 penny an object of fascination. The design of the Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, was a groundbreaking choice. Abraham Lincoln was the first real person featured on a U.S. coin, replacing the symbolic imagery that had dominated coinage before. The obverse of the 1941 penny proudly displays Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse carries the iconic wheat ears, which symbolize prosperity and agriculture. What makes the 1941 penny especially captivating is not only its historical significance but also the fact that it was struck during a period of great change. The U.S. Mint was producing enormous amounts of coinage in preparation for wartime needs, which meant variations, minting errors, and conditions that would eventually separate ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints were all active in 1941, each producing wheat pennies with their own subtle differences. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins without a mint mark, the Denver Mint used the D mark, and the San Francisco Mint used the S mark. Collectors often compare these varieties, with certain mintages proving rarer or more desirable depending on their condition. Many of the 1941 pennies circulated heavily in daily commerce. They bought groceries, paid for train tickets, and even passed through the hands of soldiers preparing to serve their country. Because they were so commonly used, most of the surviving coins today show signs of heavy wear, which makes those in pristine condition even more valuable. High-grade 1941 wheat pennies are few and far between. A coin that has been preserved in near-perfect condition without scratches, discoloration, or wear becomes a rarity, and rarity is what drives collectors to place high bids at auctions. This is why some examples of the 1941 penny have achieved incredible values in the numismatic market. Errors are another fascinating element that adds to the allure of the 1941 penny. Double die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, and other minting mishaps are extremely appealing to collectors. These mistakes give a coin uniqueness, ensuring that no two error coins are ever exactly the same, and this drives up their desirability. The artistry of the 1941 penny should not be overlooked either. Victor David Brenner's portrayal of Lincoln captures the strength, dignity, and wisdom of the president who guided the country through the Civil War. Combined with the wheat stalks on the reverse, the design is both simple and symbolic, making the coin instantly recognizable and beloved. Collectors often seek complete sets of Lincoln wheat pennies, and no set can be considered complete without the 1941 issue. Assembling such a collection requires patience and dedication, especially if the goal is to acquire coins in high mint state condition. The value of the 1941 penny is not just financial, it also holds sentimental and historical value. Families often pass down these coins through generations, sometimes not even realizing the hidden fortune they possess until an expert evaluates them. For many, discovering a 1941 wheat penny in an old jar or drawer sparks curiosity, and sometimes even joy. As time passes, fewer high-quality examples remain, which increases their rarity. Coins that were once common become scarce simply because they were spent, melted, or lost. This natural cycle of survival and loss enhances the prestige of the 1941 wheat penny in the eyes of collectors. In numismatics, condition is king. A coin graded at the top of the scale by professional grading services is exponentially more valuable than one in average circulated condition. For the 1941 penny, the difference can mean thousands of dollars, depending on the grade. The story of the 1941 penny also intersects with the broader tale of wartime coinage. Just 2 years later, in 1943, the mint would switch from copper to steel cents to conserve copper for the war effort. Knowing this, the 1941 penny represents one of the last standard copper issues before that dramatic change. Beyond its material and historical value, the penny is a reminder of the power of small things. What once bought a piece of candy or helped make change at the corner store is now treasured in display cases and auction houses, showing how history elevates the ordinary into the extraordinary. Auction records reveal that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for the right example of the 1941 penny. These record-breaking sales not only reflect the scarcity of pristine coins but also the emotional connection collectors feel toward this piece of American history. The allure of the 1941 penny is also fueled by its accessibility. While the rarest examples command immense prices, lower-grade versions can still be found in circulation or bought affordably, allowing beginners to step into the world of coin collecting with this historic piece. For seasoned collectors, however, the true prize lies in securing that elusive high-grade or rare specimen, the kind that makes headlines and stirs excitement in the numismatic community. Owning such a coin is like holding a tangible piece of American heritage in the palm of your hand. Every 1941 penny tells a story, of the minter who struck it, the shopkeeper who received it, the soldier who carried it, and the family who tucked it away in a jar. These personal histories add to its aura, making it much more than just a piece of metal. The world of coin collecting thrives on discovery, and the 1941 wheat penny remains one of the most exciting discoveries for those lucky enough to stumble upon one in outstanding condition. That thrill of possibility keeps collectors searching year after year. Its enduring popularity is proof of its cultural significance. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series remains one of the most collected coin series in the United States, and the 1941 penny stands out as a key player in that legacy. Collectors often say that holding a 1941 penny feels like holding a piece of America. It represents resilience during a time of global struggle, a nod to Lincoln's legacy, and a reminder of the nation's enduring values. When compared to modern coins, the craftsmanship of the wheat penny stands out even more. The bold design, the warm copper tone, and the sheer durability of the coin make it appealing to both collectors and casual admirers. One of the most appealing aspects of collecting the 1941 penny is the possibility of future appreciation. As more collectors enter the market and high-grade coins become harder to find, their value is likely to continue climbing. Numismatics is about more than money, it's about connection. Collectors of the 1941 penny are not just investing in metal, they are investing in a story, in history, and in a lasting piece of cultural heritage. For many, the 1941 penny is a symbol of hope and perseverance. Even in times of uncertainty, the coin has endured, treasured by each new generation that discovers its beauty and value. Whether you are a beginner intrigued by its history, or a seasoned collector in pursuit of the rarest specimen, the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny has something to offer everyone. Its journey from pocket change to prized collectible is a testament to its lasting significance. And when we look at the very finest examples of this coin, preserved in extraordinary condition and celebrated in the numismatic world, their value can be astonishing. One such piece has reached a remarkable price of $365,000. Top 2. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden gems, and among those treasures, the Lincoln Wheat Penny stands out as one of the most collected and beloved coins in American history. One year in particular, 1942, holds a special place in this story, as it connects directly to a time when the United States was fully engaged in World War II. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a small copper coin, it's a time capsule that reflects a nation in transition. Struck in the early years of America's involvement in the war, this penny carries not only monetary value but also a legacy of resilience, determination, and history. The obverse of the coin features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Since its debut in 1909, this portrait has symbolized strength, leadership, and the preservation of the Union, making it one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. coinage. On the reverse, we find two simple yet powerful wheat stalks framing the denomination. Known as the wheat penny, this design emphasizes prosperity and agricultural abundance, perfectly capturing the spirit of early 20th century America. What makes the 1942 issue particularly interesting is its timing. Just a year before, in December 1941, the United States entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The entire nation shifted its focus to war production, and coinage would soon reflect these changes. In 1943, the Mint famously produced steel cents to conserve copper for ammunition and other military needs. This makes the 1942 penny one of the last traditional copper issues before that major shift, giving it a special place in numismatic history. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints were responsible for producing the 1942 pennies. Each mint's output differed slightly in volume, with coins marked by a D or S mint mark beneath the date, while Philadelphia coins had no mark at all. Collectors often seek examples from all three mints to build a complete set. Millions of pennies were struck in 1942, and they circulated heavily in everyday life. They were spent on bus fares, groceries, and war bonds, passing through the hands of ordinary Americans during an extraordinary time. Because they were used so often, most surviving 1942 pennies are found today in well-worn condition. Coins in this state may still be treasured by beginners, but it is the high-grade, uncirculated examples that truly capture the attention of serious collectors. The condition of a coin is the single most important factor in determining its value. A 1942 penny with sharp detail, full luster, and no visible wear is a rarity, and such coins can command remarkable prices at auction. Mint errors also play an important role in the story of the 1942 penny. Variations such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks create unique pieces that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Each era coin is one of a kind, and that uniqueness adds to its allure. The artistry of the design cannot be overlooked. Brenner's profile of Lincoln is timeless, reflecting dignity and wisdom, while the wheat stalks on the reverse remain iconic symbols of American prosperity. This combination makes the coin not only valuable but also visually appealing. The 1942 penny also represents an important transition in American coinage history. As the country prepared to redirect copper to the war effort, this coin stands as one of the final traditional copper cents before the experimental years of 1943 and beyond. Collectors often view the 1942 penny as a bridge between eras, the last of the standard coppers and the precursor to the wartime steel issues. This dual identity makes it an essential coin in any Lincoln cent collection. For families, finding a 1942 penny in an old jar or drawer can be an exciting discovery. Sometimes these coins are passed down through generations, holding sentimental value in addition to financial worth. The popularity of Lincoln cents has made them a cornerstone of coin collecting. Generations of collectors have started their journey with wheat pennies, and the 1942 issue continues to inspire new enthusiasts today. Auction results show just how valuable this penny can be when preserved in superb condition. Collectors often compete fiercely for top-graded coins, driving prices far higher than one might expect for a denomination of just 1 cent. The survival rate of flawless coins is very low. Between circulation, damage, and the passage of time, very few 1942 pennies remain in the pristine state that attracts high-dollar bids. This scarcity is what fuels demand and ensures that the 1942 penny maintains its prestige within the collecting community. Every time a record-setting coin appears at auction, it reinforces the excitement surrounding this issue. Another fascinating aspect of this penny is its connection to wartime America. In 1942, every part of American life was influenced by the war effort, and coins like this one serve as tangible reminders of that period. Holding a 1942 penny is like holding a small piece of World War II history. It connects us to the sacrifices, struggles, and triumphs of that era, making it not just a collectible but a piece of heritage. Collectors love the sense of discovery that comes with searching for these coins. Whether it's sifting through old coin rolls, exploring flea markets, or bidding at auctions, the thrill of finding a special 1942 penny never fades. The coin's design also continues to attract admiration. Compared to modern coins, the wheat penny has a classic, old-fashioned charm that appeals to both serious collectors and casual admirers. Investors recognize the potential of rare coins like the 1942 penny as a way to preserve wealth. With limited supply and growing demand, coins in high grades often see their values appreciate over time. But beyond investment and value, the 1942 penny carries an emotional significance. It is a reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy, of America's strength during wartime, and of the power of small things to hold great meaning. Every collector has their own reasons for pursuing this coin, some for the history, some for the beauty, and some for the thrill of owning something rare and valuable. Whatever the reason, the 1942 wheat penny continues to captivate. It is a coin that bridges the gap between everyday life and extraordinary history, turning a simple cent into a timeless treasure. That is why it remains one of the most cherished issues in the Lincoln series. And when we look at the very finest examples of this coin, preserved in superb condition and celebrated by collectors, their value can be astonishing. One such 1942 Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at an incredible price of $362,000. Top 3. The story of the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most fascinating chapters in American coinage, and among its many issues, the 1944 penny stands out as one of the most talked about. It is a coin that carries with it the spirit of wartime America, a legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, and the attention of coin collectors across the world. When we look at the year 1944, the United States was in the midst of World War II. The country was fully mobilized, with its industries producing weapons, vehicles, and supplies to help bring victory to the Allied forces. Even the mint was deeply affected by these efforts, as the demand for metals like copper and zinc had become critical to the war. Just a year before, in 1943, the U.S. Mint experimented with steel cents in order to save copper for ammunition and other essential wartime materials. These coins, while practical, quickly became unpopular with the public because they rusted easily and were often mistaken for dimes. By 1944, the Mint decided to return to copper coinage, but the story of that year's pennies is more complex than it may first appear. The copper used in many of the 1944 pennies actually came from recycled shell casings collected from the war front, giving these coins a direct connection to America's military history. The obverse of the 1944 penny features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that had already become iconic since its introduction in 1909. Lincoln's strong portrait served as a powerful reminder of leadership and unity during a time when the nation was fighting for freedom abroad. On the reverse, we see the classic wheat stalks flanking the words, 1 cent. This simple yet elegant design symbolized prosperity and growth, values that resonated deeply with Americans enduring the sacrifices of wartime life. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all struck 1944 wheat pennies. Coins from Denver bear the D mint mark, those from San Francisco carry an S, while Philadelphia issues were produced without any mint mark. Each variety carries its own level of desirability among collectors. While millions of these coins were minted, not all of them were created equal. Most circulated heavily, being used in daily life to buy newspapers, food, and war bonds. These well-worn examples are still common today and often found in old jars or boxes. But there is another side to the 1944 penny. Some were preserved in excellent condition, never entering circulation. These uncirculated specimens, with sharp details and original luster, are far more valuable and highly sought after by collectors. Adding to the intrigue are rare varieties. Some 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943, creating one of the rarest and most valuable era coins in American numismatics. Others may show doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes, each of which increases the desirability of the coin. The very existence of these errors is a reminder of the immense pressure the mint was under during wartime production. Millions of coins were needed quickly, and small mistakes sometimes slipped through the process, leaving behind treasures for today's collectors. High-grade 1944 pennies, especially those with full mint luster and no signs of wear, can fetch extraordinary prices at auctions. Condition makes all the difference, and grading services play a vital role in authenticating and preserving the value of these coins. For many collectors, the 1944 penny holds more than financial value. It represents a story of sacrifice and resilience, a coin that quite literally carries the history of World War II within its copper alloy. Owning a 1944 penny is like holding a piece of history. Each one has a story. Perhaps it was used to buy stamps for letters sent to soldiers overseas, or perhaps it was saved in a jar by a family supporting the war effort at home. The design itself continues to be admired by coin enthusiasts and historians alike. Lincoln's portrait has stood the test of time, and the wheat reverse remains one of the most iconic designs in American numismatic history. When compared to modern coins, the wheat penny has a charm and character that sets it apart. Its bold design, warm copper color, and historical connections make it an enduring favorite among collectors. The popularity of the Lincoln series has ensured that generations of collectors have sought after the 1944 penny. For many, it is one of the first coins they encounter when beginning their journey into numismatics. But the true excitement comes from the possibility of finding a rare variety or exceptionally high-grade example. Stories of pennies discovered in old drawers or inherited collections that turn out to be worth thousands continue to inspire treasure hunters everywhere. In the world of coin collecting, the 1944 penny demonstrates how even the smallest denomination can carry extraordinary significance. It proves that history, rarity, and condition can turn a 1-cent piece into a remarkable collectible. Collectors often seek complete sets of wheat pennies, and the 1944 issue plays an essential role in any such collection. Without it, the story of wartime coinage would be incomplete. The emotional connection to this coin is undeniable. For those who lived through the 1940s, the 1944 penny is a reminder of wartime sacrifices, while for younger generations, it serves as a tangible link to their family's past. Over time, the number of surviving high-quality 1944 pennies has dwindled, making them increasingly scarce. This natural reduction ensures their long-term desirability and drives continued interest in the market. Investors also see value in coins like the 1944 penny. As collectible assets, they have the potential to appreciate significantly over time, particularly the rare era varieties and top-graded examples. What truly makes the 1944 penny special, however, is its ability to capture imagination. It is not just a piece of copper, it is a symbol of perseverance, of unity, and of a nation that endured one of the most challenging times in its history. From circulation pieces that passed through countless hands to rare mint errors that became legendary, the 1944 penny represents both the ordinary and the extraordinary. Collectors around the world continue to cherish this coin, knowing that it holds a unique place in the broader story of American numismatics. Its blend of history, design, and rarity ensures that it will always remain a subject of fascination. And when we look at the finest known examples, preserved in pristine condition and treasured by the collecting community, the value is astonishing. A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny has reached a price of $355,000. Top 4. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most beloved coins in American history, and each year of its production brings with it unique stories and values. The 1946 penny, in particular, stands out as a fascinating piece that reflects a country moving forward from war into peace, all while keeping alive the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln. By 1946, the United States had just emerged victorious from World War II. The soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting from wartime production back to consumer goods, and the nation was entering a period of rebuilding and optimism. Even coins struck that year hold echoes of that transition. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was part of that story. Millions were minted, yet not all of them would survive in the same condition. Today, the the coin has become an essential part of numismatic collections, with certain rare and pristine examples commanding extraordinary prices. On the obverse of the coin, we see the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909. His strong profile represents leadership, unity, and resilience, qualities that the American people deeply valued at the time. The reverse side features the famous wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent. This simple yet meaningful design served as a reminder of America's agricultural roots and the prosperity that lay ahead in the post-war years. 3 different mints produced the 1946 penny: Philadelphia without a mint mark, Denver with the D, and San Francisco with the S. Each mint produced large quantities, but collectors often seek out examples from all 3 to complete a set. While most 1946 pennies were spent on everyday purchases, from a loaf of bread to a bus ride, some were carefully preserved. These coins, protected from the wear of circulation, are the ones that would later prove to be the most valuable. Condition plays the most critical role in determining the worth of a 1946 penny. A heavily circulated coin may only be worth a small premium, but one kept in pristine, uncirculated condition can bring in astonishing amounts at auction. Errors and varieties add even more intrigue. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, and repunched mint marks are some of the collectible errors that can make an ordinary-looking coin extremely rare and highly desirable. One of the most talked-about varieties involves 1946 pennies mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from the war years. These extremely rare errors link the coin directly to the unusual wartime production of 1943. Collectors are always on the lookout for these special pieces, knowing that errors elevate the coin beyond its already fascinating history. Finding such a specimen is like striking gold in the world of numismatics. The artistry of the design cannot be ignored. Lincoln's profile captures dignity and determination, while the wheat ears stand tall as symbols of growth. Together, they make the coin as visually beautiful as it is historically important. The 1946 penny also reflects a changing era. With the war over, copper was no longer in short supply, and the mint returned fully to producing traditional bronze cents. This return to normalcy is part of what makes the coin significant in its timeline. Collectors often describe holding a 1946 penny as holding a piece of peace, an artifact from the very year when soldiers returned home, families reunited, and America began looking toward the future. Because wheat pennies are so widely collected, the 1946 issue is almost always included in beginner and advanced collections alike. It represents an accessible piece of history, yet with the right condition, it can transform into a major prize. The value of the coin rises dramatically with its grade. A standard circulated piece might be worth only a few cents to $1, but coins certified at the highest mint state grades are treasures that bring fierce competition at auctions. The emotional connection collectors feel toward the 1946 penny adds to its appeal. It reminds them of the era of post-war America, of Lincoln's legacy, and of the simple beauty of classic coin designs. The survival rate of flawless coins from this year is small. Most were used daily, and only a fraction remained untouched. This scarcity is the key to their extraordinary value in the collector's market. Every year, stories emerge of families discovering old jars, boxes, or rolls of wheat pennies, sometimes revealing rare coins within. A 1946 penny in excellent condition hidden away for decades can become a life-changing discovery. The popularity of Lincoln cents ensures that demand for the 1946 issue will never fade. It is a coin that appeals to both casual enthusiasts and serious numismatists alike, bridging generations of collectors. Its role in numismatic history is undeniable. Positioned between the wartime steel cents of 1943 and the later Lincoln Memorial cents of 1959, the 1946 penny belongs to a beloved era in U.S. coinage. Beyond the numbers and grades, the 1946 penny tells a human story. It circulated through the hands of workers, students, veterans, and families, carrying with it the hopes and daily struggles of post-war America. The coin is also admired for its resilience. Even after decades, its bold design and copper glow still stand out, a testament to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. For many collectors, completing a wheat penny collection would be unthinkable without the 1946 issue. It is a necessary piece of the puzzle, and its presence adds richness to any set. Its financial potential is another factor that cannot be overlooked. Rare, high-grade examples of the 1946 penny continue to set impressive prices, showing that even a small coin can carry enormous value. As the years go by, the rarity of superb examples will only increase. This steady decline in supply ensures that the 1946 penny will remain a strong performer in the numismatic market. What truly makes the 1946 penny fascinating is the combination of history, beauty, rarity, and symbolism. It is not just a coin, it is a legacy of America's resilience and a celebration of its recovery after one of the most challenging times in history. And when we look at the very finest specimens, perfectly preserved and celebrated by collectors worldwide, their worth is truly astounding. A 1946 Lincoln wheat penny has reached the price of $347,000. Top 5. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most collected coin series in American history, and every year of its production carries with it a unique story. Among these, the 1948 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny has a special place, both for its history and for its appeal to collectors. The year 1948 was a time of post-war optimism in the United States. The nation was recovering from World War II, soldiers had returned home, and families were beginning to experience the prosperity of a new era. Even the smallest coin, the penny, reflected this period of change and hope. On the obverse of the coin, we find the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Since its first appearance in 1909, Lincoln's profile has symbolized unity, leadership, and American values, making this design one of the longest-running in U.S. coinage history. The reverse of the 1948 penny shows two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent. Known as the wheat reverse, this design highlights agriculture, growth, and stability, values that resonated strongly with the American people during this period of rebuilding. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all produced 1948 pennies. Coins from Denver carry the D mint mark, those from San Francisco have the S, and those from Philadelphia were minted without any mint mark at all. Each variety carries its own desirability in the numismatic market. Tens of millions of these pennies were struck, and most entered circulation immediately. They were used for bus fares, groceries, and everyday expenses, making them a common part of daily life in the late 1940s. Because so many were heavily circulated, the majority of 1948 pennies found today show significant wear. While still collectible, these worn examples rarely carry significant monetary value compared to their well-preserved counterparts. The real treasures are the coins that were saved in pristine condition, never spent, and carefully preserved. These coins, known as uncirculated or mint state examples, have sharp details and original luster that make them highly sought after by collectors. Errors and varieties also add excitement to the 1948 penny story. Some coins display doubled dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. Each error is unique, and such coins are often considered the rarest and most fascinating by serious collectors. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1948 penny is how it represents a transition into the post-war era. Just a few years earlier, the mint had experimented with steel cents in 1943 to conserve copper for the war effort. By 1948, the production of bronze cents was fully back to normal, reflecting stability in the nation's economy. Collectors often describe the 1948 penny as a coin of recovery, a small but meaningful symbol of a country moving forward after years of conflict and sacrifice. This historical context adds depth to its value. The design of the coin itself continues to inspire admiration. Lincoln's profile remains timeless, while the wheat ears on the reverse remind collectors of a classic period in American coin design. Together, they make the 1948 penny a visually and historically significant piece. The survival rate of flawless examples is extremely low. While millions were made, very few have survived decades without scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage. This rarity explains why the best examples can command such high prices. collectors treasure the thrill of discovering a 1948 penny in excellent condition. Whether it is tucked away in an old family coin jar, found in a collection passed down through generations, or purchased at auction, the discovery always carries excitement. Wheat pennies are a favorite starting point for many new collectors. The 1948 issue often becomes a part of these early collections, sparking a lifelong interest in the history and artistry of American coins. At the same time, advanced collectors prize the highest graded examples and rare era varieties, which represent the pinnacle of value in this year's issue. For them, the 1948 penny is not just a collectible but an investment and a prized piece of history. Auction records show just how desirable these coins can be. When a 1948 penny in superb condition appears for sale, competition among collectors can be fierce, driving the final price into extraordinary figures. This enduring demand shows how much collectors appreciate both the historical and numismatic significance of the 1948 penny. It is not just a small copper coin, it is a piece of America's journey. The emotional connection also plays a role. For those who lived through the late 1940s, the penny recalls memories of a changing America, while for younger generations, it serves as a tangible connection to the past. The artistry of Brenner's design remains unmatched in its longevity. Few coin designs in the world have lasted over a century, and the 1948 penny proudly continues this tradition. Every coin has a story, and the 1948 penny tells one of prosperity, recovery, and hope. It circulated through the hands of workers, families, and children during a period of optimism, carrying with it a message of resilience. Collectors understand that even the smallest coin can carry great significance. The 1948 penny proves that a simple 1-cent piece can transform into a treasure when preserved and cherished. The coin also represents a bridge between eras, the classic wheat design of the early 20th century and the coming changes that would eventually lead to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Its appeal lies not just in rarity, but in its timeless charm. The reddish-brown glow of well-preserved copper, combined with the powerful symbolism of Lincoln and the wheat stalks, makes it a favorite among collectors worldwide. Investors also see potential in coins like the 1948 penny. With limited high-grade survivors and increasing demand, the coin continues to appreciate in value as time goes on. Whether collected for history, beauty, rarity, or investment, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny remains one of the most captivating coins from its era. Its story is one of small beginnings but great significance. Every discovery of a 1948 penny in pristine condition reignites excitement among collectors, proving that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary of places. And when we look at the very finest known specimens, preserved with perfect detail and admired across the numismatic world, the value is astonishing. A 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny has reached the price of $320,000. Top 6. The Lincoln Wheat penny has a special place in the hearts of collectors, and every year in the series tells a different story. The 1949 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny is no exception, carrying with it the history of post-war America and the artistry of one of the most enduring coin designs in United States history. The year 1949 was a time of change in America. The country was settling into the post-war world, the economy was expanding, and families were experiencing the first wave of modern American prosperity. Even something as small as a penny reflected the spirit of this era. The obverse of the 1949 penny features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. His strong profile became a symbol of strength and leadership that resonated with generations of Americans. On the reverse of the coin, the two wheat stalks framed the words, 1 cent. This classic wheat design, simple yet elegant, had already become one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage by the late 1940s. 3 different mints struck the 1949 penny: Philadelphia without a mint mark, Denver with the D, and San Francisco with the S. Each mint's coins are collected today, and many collectors aim to acquire all 3 versions to complete their sets. The Philadelphia mint struck the highest number of coins that year, while the Denver and San Francisco mints had lower outputs. For collectors, the mint mark can play an important role in determining both rarity and desirability. The majority of 1949 pennies went into circulation, passing through countless hands as they were spent on everyday goods like bread, milk, and bus fares. Because they were used so heavily, most surviving examples today show significant wear. Condition is the most important factor when it comes to value. Circulated coins are common, but uncirculated examples with original luster, sharp details, and no wear are rare and highly sought after by collectors. Some of the greatest treasures of 1949 are the era coins. Ms. strikes, doubled dies, and repunched mint marks create unique varieties that are prized by those who love the thrill of owning something truly unusual. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the chance discovery of such errors. What may look like an ordinary penny to most people could, upon closer inspection, reveal details that turn it into a valuable rarity. The artistry of the 1949 penny should not be overlooked. Lincoln's profile captures dignity and determination, while the wheat stalks remind us of America's agricultural heritage and the values of growth and prosperity. The coin also represents a transitional time. The country was shifting toward a modern era, but the classic wheat design remained a familiar and comforting image for Americans still tied to the traditions of earlier decades. For many collectors, the 1949 penny represents a piece of family history. Old jars, boxes, or piggy banks often yield these coins, connecting new generations to the memories of the past. Wheat pennies like the 1949 issue have long been a starting point for coin collectors. Their availability makes them accessible, yet their hidden rarities and high-grade examples offer excitement for even the most advanced numismatists. Auction records show the incredible potential value of this coin. While common examples may trade hands for only a few cents, pristine examples can sell for thousands, and the rarest specimens can achieve extraordinary sums. The survival rate of flawless coins from 1949 is extremely low. After decades of circulation, only a handful remain untouched, making them treasures when they appear in the market. Collectors often describe the thrill of finding a 1949 penny in exceptional condition as one of the highlights of numismatics. That thrill drives many to continue searching, knowing that treasures could still be discovered. The emotional appeal of the coin also plays a role in its lasting popularity. It is not only about money or rarity, it is about holding a piece of American history in the palm of your hand. The Lincoln series itself is legendary. Beginning in 1909 and continuing through various design changes, it has become the longest-running coin series in American history, and the 1949 penny is an important chapter in that legacy. Every coin has a story, and the 1949 penny tells one of optimism, growth, and tradition. It circulated through a nation that was rebuilding, expanding, and moving into a new modern age. The coin's classic copper glow, combined with its bold and timeless design, makes it one of the most visually appealing coins of its era. Collectors and admirers alike appreciate its beauty. Many collectors aim to build complete sets of wheat pennies, and the 1949 issue is always a necessary piece. Without it, the story of the series would be incomplete. The coin also offers investment potential. With demand for rare and high-grade coins continuing to grow, examples of the 1949 penny in top condition are likely to appreciate in value over time. Its popularity has endured for generations. From children discovering them in pocket change decades ago to serious collectors battling for them in modern auctions, the 1949 penny continues to inspire fascination. One of the most remarkable aspects of this coin is its ability to connect people across time. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a beginner, the 1949 penny has something to offer. It is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of American resilience, a reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy, and a snapshot of a nation in transition. Collectors worldwide cherish the 1949 penny, not only for its value but for the story it tells. It is a coin that has transformed from a simple cent into a treasured piece of history. And when we look at the very finest examples, preserved in pristine condition and celebrated by collectors everywhere, their value is nothing short of astonishing. A 1949 Lincoln wheat penny has reached the price of $307,000. Top 7. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history, and the 1951 issue is a fascinating part of that legacy. While millions were struck, hidden treasures exist among them that collectors chase with passion. The early 1950s was a time of post-war growth. America was booming, families were moving to the suburbs, and the nation was entering a new era of prosperity. Even the humble 1-cent coin carried with it the spirit of that time. On the obverse of the 1951 penny, we see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. This design by Victor David Brenner had already been in circulation for over 4 decades by then, and it continued to symbolize leadership and unity. The reverse still featured the timeless wheat ears design. These 2 stalks of wheat were more than decorative, they represented growth, agriculture, and the foundation of America's economy. 3 mints produced the 1951 wheat penny, Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. Each carries its own place in the story of this year's coinage. The Philadelphia mint struck the highest number, while Denver and San Francisco produced smaller quantities. For collectors, the mint mark can make a big difference when building complete sets. Millions of these coins went into circulation and were used in everyday transactions. Pennies in 1951 could still buy gum, candy, or help pay for a bus ride. Most were quickly worn down through daily use. Because of this, finding a 1951 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition today is a real challenge. The passage of time and heavy circulation make such examples rare and desirable. Collectors place great value on condition. A bright red, shiny coin straight from the mint is far more valuable than a dark, heavily worn penny. The smallest details can mean huge differences in worth. Era coins from 1951 are especially prized. A doubled die, an off-center strike, or a repunched mint mark transforms an ordinary penny into a rare collectible worth hundreds or even thousands. The most famous varieties of the 1951 penny often appear in auction houses, where bidders eagerly compete to add them to their collections. These coins often achieve surprising results. Beyond errors, even regular coins can become treasures if they are preserved in flawless condition. A single perfect penny from 1951 can capture a collector's imagination. The artistry of the design remains timeless. Lincoln's strong profile is filled with dignity, and the reverse wheat stalks tie the coin back to America's agricultural heritage. By 1951, the wheat cent had already been a part of American life for over 40 years, and people had grown attached to it. It was a coin design that felt familiar, trusted, and respected. Many families saved jars of wheat pennies during this time. Children collected them, and parents tucked them away as keepsakes, making the 1951 penny a coin of nostalgia as well as history. Wheat pennies have long been a gateway into coin collecting. For decades, they sparked curiosity in children and adults alike, encouraging them to learn about history, art, and money. When looking at a 1951 penny, one cannot help but feel the connection between the coin and the people who used it. Each cent passed through countless hands and shared countless stories. Collectors often chase the thrill of finding a rare version of this coin. Whether it's an era variety or a coin in gem condition, the excitement of discovery fuels the passion for numismatics. The Lincoln Cent series as a whole is the longest running in U.S. history. The 1951 penny is just one year among many, yet it stands out because of its place in the middle of the wheat penny era. Auction results tell us just how valuable these coins can be. While common worn examples are worth little, pristine ones can command jaw-dropping prices. The survival of high-grade coins from 1951 is limited. Over 70 years later, only a handful remain untouched, making them prized treasures for serious collectors. The appeal of this coin is more than financial. It represents a moment in American life, a time of rebuilding, progress, and optimism after the hardships of war. The 1951 penny captures that spirit in copper form. Small in size but large in meaning, it is a piece of history that fits easily into the palm of your hand. Collectors worldwide cherish these coins, not only because of their beauty but also because they tell a story of America's enduring values. Finding a 1951 penny in a collection or roll of coins can feel like uncovering a hidden treasure. Each discovery brings with it a sense of wonder and excitement. The coin has become more than currency. It is a collector's item, a historical artifact, and a reminder of Lincoln's timeless legacy. Even today, more than 7 decades later, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny continues to inspire interest, admiration, and fascination among numismatists. And when we talk about the finest known examples, those preserved with perfect care, untouched by circulation, their value is truly astonishing. A 1951 Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at $292,000. Top 8. The Lincoln wheat penny has always been one of the most beloved coins in American history, and the 1953 issue holds a fascinating place within that long-running series. Though small in size, this penny carries a story that stretches far beyond its face value. In 1953, America was in the midst of a decade defined by post-war prosperity. Families were moving into new homes, cars were rolling off assembly lines, and the nation was entering a golden era. The Lincoln cent was part of everyday life, quietly witnessing this exciting chapter in history. On the obverse of the 1953 penny is the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His strong profile, marked with dignity, had already been a familiar sight for over 40 years. The reverse features the iconic wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent. This simple design carried deep meaning, reminding Americans of their agricultural roots and their values of growth and hard work. 3 mints were responsible for striking the 1953 penny: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D, and San Francisco with the S. Each mint contributed to the coin's story, and collectors still treasure examples from all 3. The Philadelphia mint produced the largest number, while Denver and San Francisco added their own outputs to circulation. For collectors today, the mint mark can make a difference in both rarity and appeal. Most of the 1953 wheat pennies were used in daily life. People spent them on groceries, bus rides, and candy for children. Their wide circulation means that many surviving coins show heavy wear. Because so few were set aside in pristine condition, uncirculated examples are rare today. Collectors hunt tirelessly for those few coins that still gleam with their original mint luster. Condition plays the biggest role in determining a penny's value. A worn, brown coin may only be worth face value, while a bright red gem with no flaws can fetch an extraordinary sum. Errors from 1953 add another layer of excitement. Repunched mint marks, doubled dies, and misaligned strikes create rare varieties that collectors seek out and cherish. Some of these errors are so subtle that only careful examination reveals them, but once discovered, they can transform an ordinary penny into a unique treasure. Auction houses occasionally showcase these rare varieties, and when they appear, they spark lively bidding wars among serious collectors who understand their rarity. Even without errors, perfectly preserved 1953 pennies are spectacular to behold. The sharpness of the design, the brilliance of the copper, and the absence of marks make them true works of art. The design itself remains timeless. Lincoln's image radiates strength and humility, while the wheat stalks symbolize both tradition and abundance. For many Americans, wheat pennies like the 1953 issue bring a wave of nostalgia. People remember saving them in jars, finding them in pocket change, or starting coin collections with them. Wheat pennies often serve as the gateway into coin collecting. Their accessibility, combined with their history, makes them appealing to both beginners and experts. The 1953 penny is also part of a long tradition. It belongs to a series that began in 1909 and continues today, making it a vital link in the story of America's longest-running coin design. Holding one of these coins is like holding a piece of American life from the 1950s. It reminds us of an era filled with optimism, progress, and pride. Collectors often speak of the thrill that comes with discovering a high-grade 1953 penny in an old collection or coin roll. That feeling of uncovering a hidden treasure keeps the hobby exciting. The coin's story is not only about money. It is about memory, legacy, and history woven into copper. Each coin passed through countless hands, each with its own story to tell. The demand for these coins has kept growing, as collectors around the world seek them out. Their rarity in top condition ensures that they will always remain valuable. While common examples exist in circulation, it is the rare gems, perfectly preserved, glowing with original brilliance, that command the highest admiration and prices. The Lincoln wheat penny design eventually gave way to the memorial reverse in 1959, but the wheat pennies remain the most beloved by collectors and historians alike. The 1953 issue serves as a reminder of that legacy. It captures both the artistry of early 20th century design and the spirit of mid-20th century America. Every coin has a story, and the 1953 wheat penny's story is one of tradition, transition, and timeless beauty. Its place in collections is secure, as it remains one of the most interesting issues of the decade. Collectors continue to search for it, treasure it, and pass it down to future generations. The value of this coin lies not only in its rarity but also in its enduring ability to connect us to the past. And when we look at the very finest known examples of this coin, preserved with absolute perfection, their worth is staggering. A 1953 Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at $282,000. Top 9. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most collected coins in American history, and the 1944 issue is among the most famous of them all. It carries with it the story of a nation at war, a design beloved by collectors, and values that can surprise even seasoned numismatists. The year 1944 was in the middle of World War II. American soldiers were fighting overseas, while back home, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins for a population deeply invested in the war effort. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, the president who preserved the Union during the Civil War. His portrait by Victor David Brenner had already been circulating since 1909 and remained a powerful symbol of strength. The reverse design shows two stalks of wheat encircling the words, 1 cent. Simple yet elegant, this design reflected America's agricultural roots and its enduring values of hard work and growth. The 1944 wheat penny is notable for being the first year after the famous 1943 steel cents. In 1943, copper was needed for ammunition and war supplies, so pennies were made of steel. By 1944, copper returned, making that year's coins stand out historically. 3 mints struck the 1944 penny. Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. Each mint produced large numbers, but certain examples are much rarer than others. Millions upon millions were released into circulation. These pennies traveled through countless hands during a time when every coin was valuable to families saving money and supporting the war effort. Most surviving coins from 1944 show heavy wear because they were used in daily transactions for decades. Finding one in pristine condition is a real challenge. Condition makes a massive difference in value. A well-worn coin may only be worth a few cents, but a bright red uncirculated coin can be worth thousands. Some 1944 wheat pennies are famous for rare mistakes. One of the most incredible errors is the 1944 steel cent, struck accidentally with leftover steel planchets from the year before. The 1944 steel cent is one of the most legendary era coins in American numismatics. These coins are so rare that they have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Even among the regular copper coins, other varieties exist, such as repunched mint marks or doubled dies, which make the hunt for unique 1944 pennies even more exciting. Collectors often describe finding a rare 1944 penny as the discovery of a lifetime. For many, this year represents the ultimate prize in the wheat cent series. The artistry of the design cannot be overlooked. Lincoln's dignified portrait paired with the wheat stalks makes for a coin that is both visually appealing and historically meaningful. The 1944 penny connects us directly to the home front of World War II. It is a reminder of a time when Americans rationed goods, bought war bonds, and used every penny carefully. Wheat pennies like the 1944 issue often appear in old coin jars, passed down from parents and grandparents. Each coin tells a story that stretches across generations. Collectors worldwide treasure these pennies not just for their rarity but also for the history they embody. They are coins with both financial and emotional value. The Lincoln Cent series is the longest running in U.S. history, and the 1944 penny plays an essential role in its timeline. It represents a turning point between the wartime steel coins and the return to copper. Auction houses have seen remarkable sales of 1944 pennies, particularly rare varieties in gem condition. These coins inspire bidding wars among passionate collectors. The survival rate of flawless 1944 pennies is low. Decades of circulation wore most of them down, leaving only a tiny number in pristine state. Finding one of these gems feels like holding a time capsule from 1944, a year when the world was changing, and America was working tirelessly to achieve victory. Many collectors start their numismatic journey with wheat pennies, and the 1944 coin often becomes one of their most cherished pieces. The thrill of searching through rolls, coin jars, or inherited collections is part of the fun, and the possibility of finding a rare 1944 treasure adds to the excitement. The story of the 1944 penny is not only about money. It is about heritage, legacy, and the endurance of a design that connected generations of Americans. The coin's simplicity, combined with its historical significance, ensures that it will always remain one of the most important wheat cents. Its copper glow, paired with the strength of its design, continues to attract collectors who admire both beauty and history in their collections. Even today, more than 70 years later, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny stands out as a coin that inspires awe and admiration. And when we look at the very finest examples, flawless coins preserved through time, their value is astonishing. A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at $278,000. Top 10. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most collected coins in the world, and the 1941 issue is a remarkable piece that carries both history and hidden value. It may look like just another old penny, but in reality, it has a story worth telling. In 1941, America stood on the edge of World War II. The nation had not yet entered the conflict, but tensions were rising across the globe. Even the smallest coin in circulation at the time reflected a country preparing for change. On the front of the coin, we find Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait by Victor David Brenner had already been in use since 1909. His image had become an enduring symbol of unity and resilience. The reverse displays the classic wheat ears design. Two stalks of wheat arch upward, framing the words, 1 cent. It was a design meant to honor agriculture and symbolize prosperity. The 1941 penny was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. Each mint contributed millions of coins to circulation. The Philadelphia mint produced the highest number, making its coins the most common, while the Denver and San Francisco issues tend to be scarcer. Collectors today pay close attention to these mint marks. When they were first released, these pennies were everyday money. People used them to buy candy, newspapers, and streetcar rides. Few imagined they would one day become treasures. Because most 1941 pennies were heavily circulated, finding one in perfect uncirculated condition is rare. Over the years, time and wear have erased much of their original beauty. Collectors value coins based on condition, and the 1941 penny is no exception. A coin with its original mint luster can be worth far more than a worn example. Certain era varieties from 1941 are especially sought after. Repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and doubled dies can transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible point. One of the most fascinating things about these errors is how they were created by chance. A small mistake at the mint became a priceless treasure decades later. The 1941 penny also carries an emotional connection. For many families, wheat pennies were saved in jars or passed down through generations, turning them into keepsakes as well as collectibles. Collectors often remember discovering their first wheat penny as children, sparking a lifelong interest in coins. The 1941 issue has introduced countless people to the hobby. Its design remains timeless. Lincoln's face radiates strength and wisdom, while the wheat ears remind us of America's roots in hard work and agriculture. By 1941, the Lincoln cent had already been in use for over 30 years, and yet it remained as popular as ever. Its design was both familiar and comforting to millions of Americans. These pennies connect us directly to an era before U.S. involvement in World War II. They are silent witnesses to a time of uncertainty and preparation. For collectors today, the thrill of finding a rare 1941 penny is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. The possibility of discovery keeps the hobby alive. Even in well-worn condition, these pennies tell a story. Each scratch or mark is a reminder of the hands they passed through and the lives they touched. Auction houses have seen incredible results for the finest examples of 1941 pennies. While most are common, the rarest and best preserved coins can achieve astonishing prices. The survival rate of flawless coins is extremely low. After decades of circulation, very few examples remain untouched and glowing with their original copper brilliance. When one of these coins appears in gem condition, collectors know they are looking at something special, a piece of history preserved in nearly perfect form. The 1941 penny has a way of bringing people together. Whether you are a beginner or an expert, its charm and significance appeal to everyone in the hobby. This coin is more than just a cent. It is a reflection of American resilience, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a reminder of the nation's strength in times of challenge. The Wheat Cent series as a whole is beloved by collectors, and the 1941 issue plays a key role in that story. It stands out as one of the most interesting coins of the early 1940s. Finding one in circulation today is rare, but not impossible. Many collectors still check their change or search old coin rolls in hopes of discovering one. The beauty of this coin is that it holds both sentimental and financial value. It connects us to the past while also offering the potential for impressive returns. Over 70 years later, the 1941 wheat penny continues to inspire curiosity, admiration, and excitement among collectors across the globe. And when we look at the very finest examples, coins preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, their worth is nothing short of extraordinary. A 1941 Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at $270,000.